Is this where the party's at? The hell was that? No idea. Maybe someone got shot. This is Dead Dodge Garage Live. That noise might keep happening. Backyard edition. How's it going? Judging by what I can hear, I think the audio is fine. Let me know if it's not fine. It's a little windy out here, but this mic seems to be pretty decent. So I did turn on the automatic volume thing. I'll probably come to regret that. Oh no, Bullwag is late. Backyard edition. Woo! Yeah, Mopar Jimmy, it was only 80 degrees here today. Altera Smells has a Slant 6 question. Okay. Oh, this is Dead Dodge Garage Live, by the way, if I didn't say that. Yeah, it does that. On the other computer, I was able to set it just to one color or off, but I don't think I have that ability here. Because MacBook. Kelly Jones just put down the wrenches. A little late, but I'm here. How's it going? Cal Grant says it sounds great. All right. Yes, Chris, I'm still in Washington. Wow, my sister was here like on time and stuff. That's impressive. Yeah, I don't have a control panel for it on here. Wow, mid-90s where Dan is at. Huh. Oh, anyway, my sister's actually here. Did I say that? I don't know what I said or didn't say. Hey, hit the like button. It does stuff. Nice. Incredible. We're free, and he hasn't even left yet. Vivian is here. Basement edition. Yep, there you go. That's in our old house. That was the move. So much cooler in the basement. Yeah, you must be hanging in the studio. Very nice. I've been there a couple times. Wow. Alan says it was 90 in Montesano today. See, I'll take 80 with a nice breeze. I will take that. Jimmy Babs, how you doing? Altera Smells. Exhaust leaking upwards off cylinder 3. Can see exhaust carbon on the head. Yeah, common. Manifold gasket. Super, super common. Make sure your manifold's flat as well. And make sure it's not cracked, because that's also super common. Yeah. Hot Shoe said I'm spooling. Am I coming in all right? I'm not getting the bad signal thing at all. It seems like it's working. Let me know if it's not working. DK Roth, Jamie, what's your favorite Mopar engine color? Red, the industrial red. I do all of my builds the industrial red, with a couple exceptions here and there. The desert does sound hot. Ugh. Jesse Smith, 96 and a massive manhunt over here. Yeah, that guy, I'm assuming. My sister's hanging out waiting for the edible to kick in. All right, cool. Apparently everything's fine. That's the good news. Bill James there asking Alan how the 300 is doing. The 300 is doing great. He got... we're still waiting on one of the doors, but it's got a new fender on the front right. Original or original-ish paint parts. Front right fender, driver's door, because that was poorly matched. He redid the pinstripes by hand, put new tires on it of the stock size, so it's less this mixed bag. But he says it drives amazing. I haven't gotten to drive it since then, but yeah, it's looking good. Excuse me. Alan Pearson, Milwaukee is checking in. How's it going? Josh says 70 degrees with a sustained 40-mile-an-hour breeze. Wow. Bullwag uses Cub Cadet yellow paint for everything. Roosters are Hemi orange. Yeah, that sounds like a rooster thing. Dennis Wheeler, is this a one-off while you move out of the old studio into the new studio? No. Well, it is a one-off, but I'm getting comfortable. Haven't started. My daughter is now no longer staying in the new studio. We're almost done getting her stuff out of there. There's a lot of stuff. But anyway, yeah, it'll probably be a couple weeks till I'm in there, I think. But yeah, I've done engines turquoise, but and I've done Hemi orange. I'm not as much of a fan of that. If it's a Hemi, that's a different story. And of course, the banana engine is orange, but it came that way, so I just did the heads to match. But yeah, especially my small blocks are all red, and my spicy 440 is red too, and I didn't even paint it red, so that's funny. Mike Brunello just bought a 2009 Dodge Journey all-wheel drive, and I hate it. I hate it for you, bud. Some people actually like those things. We'll see. Likes the new studio. Me too. It's cozy. Nice. Jeff R is here. Something about having a king. Nice. Altera Smell says, also found out if you ever want to put a clutch fan on a slant, you can use one off a 1977 Mercedes 280 SE. Interesting. Bullwag, the turquoise is called Chrysler Green, and it's not green. Cleveland Maker in the house. Yeah, it's been a bit. How you doing? When will we be seeing more convertible forward look stuff? I don't know. You're just going to have to be happy with the 59 Plymouth taxi. Dennis Wheeler says, I like my 2010 Journey. Well, I had to put a... excuse me. I had to put a heater core in a Journey once and an alternator in the same Journey twice, and then a transmission. What else? Did I have to do lifters in that one? I don't remember. I'm not a fan because I was a mechanic. Jeffrey Martin says, one of my new favorite channels. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that. Yeah. Gary Hergert says, as angry as I am that Perky pushed the Macho Ram Charger off the top 6 videos, you picked up over 3,000 subscribers since. Yeah, I'm up 4,600 subscribers in the last 28 days, which is just, that's crazy. And most of my recent videos, the two from this weekend did not do as amazing, but my other recent videos have done very well. 182,000 views on the first Perky video so far, and 1,900 subscribers from just that video. And then all the other stuff happening, that gets other videos views. The second one got 440 subscribers. My 318 teardown was 132. So yeah, stuff's happening. All the things are happening. 67,355 subscribers. We're going to be at 70 very soon, and I don't think 100 is going to take too much longer after that. Chris, if replacing upper radiator hose, yeah, Tom, put it in a pinned comment. No one will ever read the description. No one does that. I shouldn't say no one. Chris, replacing upper radiator hose neck on engine block is using RTV with a gasket pretty much mandatory these days. I pretty much always do it, yeah. Blah Blah is here from Austin, Texas. How's it going? We'll see. We're 68 383 A-body engines blue, turquoise. Oh, wow. Vic is here. Vic is currently pretending to be a car guy. He is now pretending to be a car guy. And says the new dashboard is going in stone soup tomorrow. Woo! James Robinson is protesting sobriety. Cheers, bud. It's the original Cosmic Crisp tonight. Getting a little burned out on that, though. McLovin is in the house. What's up, McLovin? Rooster is also in the house, and my sister. That's almost all the mods. I haven't seen Donnie. That doesn't mean he's not here. He had a song request, which I don't think I have the range for anymore. Honestly, I don't know if I ever did. Pack Attack is glad to see the banana got the spotlight for a bit this week. Yeah, I'm glad to see it's not as broken as I thought. Yeah, I've been wanting to do that video for a while, so I finally just knuckled down to do it. There seems to have been a fundamental misunderstanding of how the Little Red Wagon suspension works, and I thought I explained it properly, but I guess I didn't, because I got tons and tons of comments that proved I didn't. That was fun. Tony Dean Wixon just became a member. Thank you. Were you a member before? I did have these comments going, but what was the original Fratzog color? I don't even remember. Is it blue? Oh yeah, McLovin just bought a wagon. I forgot about that. 1973 Chrysler Town and Country. Yeah, anyway, I do want to do more with the banana for sure. Yes, I forgot Keep It Simple Stupid. That was going to be my end, remember, Grasshopper Cruise. It was going to be my end, remember, but then it wasn't. Todd Denio is here. How's it going, Todd? Believe in Yourself, also here. How you doing? Vivian. I don't think you've ever addressed this, but I assume some wheelie bars and tiny wheels will be going on the back of the banana eventually. If not, let us know when we need to start worrying about you. Yeah, the wheelie bars came with it. The wheelie bar mounts are what I almost hit my head on multiple times filming that. Yeah. I don't know if it was mostly spit on. It was relatively well received, but the problem is I asked for advice. Never do that. Don't ask for advice in a video, because you'll get it and it'll all be stupid. Trust me on that one. But anyway. Did I say hi to Believe in Yourself? I think I did. Our Dave Carr's Fratzog is yellow. Bob Klapauschis had a great week driving my 64 880. She's running great. Thanks again for all the help. Honestly thought my transmission was toast. Well, glad it's not. It's awesome. Classic Dude Mike said, Stone Soup Guy played a studio version of the Turtles song on his video. Yes, he did. Yeah. He asked. I sent it to him. Mark Howley, just because Hordes didn't understand you doesn't mean you didn't explain it well. I honestly don't know. I don't know if I explained it well or not. Yeah. But I'll take some of the blame at least. Oh, yeah. If I didn't make it clear, this is Vic, Diecast Dream Customs second channel. Someone found me a tailgate in Eastern Washington. I'm going to try and get my friend Mitchell over there to go get it and then get Tom to pick it up from him. Hasn't happened yet, though. Classic Dude Mike said the Sport Duster. Dart Sport was hard to watch. So much work on your part. Dude, yeah. You have no idea just how many hours of actual work went into that video versus what you saw. Just crazy. I mean, Alan was there for most of it. That was weeks. It was a lot of work. Yes, we'll see. Perky is sweet. Pretty sweet. I also understand why it's popular. Altair Smells. Have you ever blown up a rear end? No, I've had rear ends that make noise. I've never blown one up yet, but I just got a 2019 Ram with a Hemi, so blowing up an axle is in my future. It's just what they do for fun. I snapped an axle shaft once and thought I blew up a differential, but it was just that. Stacy Renner is here. How's it going, Stacy? I got to get out of this view. I can't see what time it is anymore. There, we'll do that. That fixed everything. Nice. Robert Fitch, does the plaque from YouTube come at 100,000 subscribers? Yes. Hachu, I think your internet's acting up or something. It shouldn't be blurry. I've got it here, and it's not blurry. Yeah. Classic Dude Mike, how about an LED-filled tailgate for the banana? No. Robert Fitch, did the banana ever do a wheel stand for any previous owners? I don't know. I wasn't able to get any operational history, except a guy 2 owners ago knew the guy that owned it before him, or maybe 3 owners ago, 20 years ago, knew the previous guy and said he had run it down the track and it was terrifying. Dennis Wheeler said, I sounded really excited not having to pull the engine and transmission out of the banana. So true. Paul Capazola is here from Vermont. How's it going? Is Stone Soup going to end up nice at this rate? Well, maybe someday. Keith Hill is here and mentioned something he mentioned in a comment today. Something about rotating a side tank caddy radiator to a top to bottom configuration and moving the neck has always worked for many of my A100s. I've got room for a 26-inch Mopar radiator, so that is what I'm going to use. And I already have a dual fan and shroud setup that fits right on that. So that's what I'm going to do. Alan Bulger, perhaps. I just hit a rock with my 65 Valiant 225. Do slant sixes really need oil? They really don't. Got any oil pans for sale? Man, I have 3 of them, but don't want to deal with boxing and shipping that. Like, the annoyance of having to deal with that and the shipping would cost you like double what I'd actually want for the pan. You know what I'm saying? Get a hold of Vanessa, 5 Point Parts. RDF Car, who does the best Mopar turquoise paint? I don't know about the best. I always get the crappy Duplicolor stuff. Believe in Yourself said, love that you used nut certs. Dude, they're awesome. How have I never used those before? Oh, yeah. Alan's getting a 318 for another RT teardown. Oh, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I hope to see the bananas nose toward the stars too. Yeah, Hot Shoe. I thought the explanation was fine. I just mentioned that you can make variable mounting points for the ladder/structural steel bar. And I was thinking the same thing. I don't know how I would do that, because the problem is the part that would need to move is the frame bracket. So, I mean, I could make a big frame bracket with a few different spots, and then I'd have to have a few different bushed holes through the bar. Just seems like a lot of work. The original Little Red, the old school Little Red, those bars were outside of the frame and they went all the way forward. You could see in old period shots with it wheels up, you can see the hanger they put in the front wheel well, which means the pickup point is ahead of the back of the front spring. It's crazy. Super, super long. The newer one, they put the pivot point like 1.5 feet behind the front of the engine or something. And I think that's probably where I'm gonna go. Yeah. Newcomb Garage. Yeah. Oh, the Flying Banana for sure ran 10s. For sure. Oh, wow. Rust Peters Derelict roasted a 9 1/4 in my 99 Ram Sport. Tubes rusted out. Water got in it. That's a different kind of thing. We don't quite have to worry about that around here. Wow. Nice is relative. Oh, Stone Soup's sitting at a fantastic body guy's place right now. I'll be damned. Rooster blew an 8 3/4 once. Bad day at the track. Yeah. Grasshopper Cruise, have you figured out the banana suspension? Yes, I have. I know exactly what I'm going to do, and it's copy the Little Red Wagon. Newcomb Garage is building Stone Soup too, but it's a lawnmower. For Vic. Nice. Blah Blah says Rivnut toolkits are super cheap too. Dude, it was like $55 at the local parts house. Jeff R, no, we haven't loaded the band into Perky. We probably never will. Oh, yeah. I saw that 69 Charger at auction. I thought it wasn't an RT? I thought it was. Whatever. No Beret left a message on today's video where to get nutserts. Yeah, but I bought them from the local place. So now I have the tool. I can just order nutserts later. Gopher Garage says, awesome job on the wiring today. Thank you. Doing a 318 swap in my XJ. Not looking forward to that part. Yeah. I would just do the engine section standalone. And, well, you could use a... Whatever. I did a video all about wiring magnums. It's not hard. There's not much to it. It's not hard compared to other EFI swaps. John Skidmore, growing up in your area, did Nirvana have an influence in your musical upbringing? Yes. A member of my band was recently surprised to learn that I can play any Nirvana song, but so can Seth. I can play all of them. all of them. Probably. Yes, big influence for sure. GMR, my 8 3/4 howls after setting up a new posi unit. That's called a shear grip on a Mopar. And 323 ring gear under load. How to correct it? Your lash is wrong. Like very wrong. How'd you set your gear lash? Excuse me. Whew. Nice. Robert Fitch saw Chuck Poole's Chuck Wagon A100 do wheel stands at SIR back in 71. Thought that Chuck Wagon was a Ford. Wasn't it? Or did it start as a Dodge? And then which one got the Volkswagen nose? Now I have to check. Yeah. Yep. That was a Chuck Wagon. Got sponsored by a Volkswagen dealership and converted it to a Volkswagen. Or maybe rebuilt it out of a Volkswagen. I don't know. But yeah, okay. His original version was an A100. Yes, trust me. I've looked at these things. I've done so much research. So much. Nick L says, from a Scot in Ireland, great work, dude. You show all sorts of things I'd never had the chance to see up close otherwise. For some reason, my wife enjoys your videos too. I'm not going to question it. Nice. Thank you very much. Richard Scott is here. How's it going, Richard Scott? 176 of you out there. Thanks for hanging out in the yard. It's a beautiful evening. Happy to be here. Mark is here. Yo. Rasputer's Derelict. So my understanding is the engine and trans will pivot along with the rear suspension. Yes, correct. You got it. So many people didn't. So many people did not understand that detail. And I swear I explained in the little Red Wagon, the entire drivetrain is mounted to a pivoting subframe. The leaf springs are on the body here, and they are connected to the axle. But the axle is connected to the frame on these long structural bars that form a subframe. The engine and transmission are mounted off of that. Yeah. I don't think I made that obvious enough. I wish I had had better pictures of the Little Red Express so we all could have looked at that together. No Beret says AutoZone and O'Reilly have nutsert kits way cheaper than what you found. Well, that's annoying. David wants to know, what are the odds you sell banana before it gets running well? How dare you, sir? How dare you? Huh. Yeah. Okay. Not an RT. I guess I knew that. I don't know. Tom sent me the thing, and I looked at it briefly. I did Google it, Robert. I did that. Yes. Then it became a Volkswagen. Dennis Wheeler says, actually a Bowie song, only decent Nirvana song. How dare you, sir? How dare you? We're going to get a lot of miles out of that one tonight. Tommy Van, yes, I can play all the Nirvana, no problem. So I think about 11 is when I discovered actual decent music, 10 or 11. And my sister showed me Nirvana. I got a bunch of bootleg CDs from her, so I just kind of listened to that for a long time. I got the 2001 or 2002 album, whatever the heck that was. Maybe it was 2002. Anyway, got that, obsessed over that, wore that out in my CD player, and then got some cassette tapes ripped off of vinyl, allegedly from my mother. Got into Black Sabbath through that, Tom Petty. Then I discovered the Vines. I was super into them for a while. Unplugged is an epic album. Still is. I'm not like them. Dang it. Where does it go? I don't remember. I gotta relearn all the things. Or not. David, it's 95 here. Wish I'd driven up this week. Yep. I mean, it's nice out here. Vintage Adventure Drives is here. How's it going? I'm doing fantastic. Pirate Family? Will I get demonetized if I mentioned the piratebay.org? I don't know. Let's find out. My sister still loves the Vines. It's a good one. Jeff R., which is likely to hit the track first, Flying Banana or Tunnel Rammed Barracuda? I think the Barracuda. We're gonna focus on that. Gregory Welton. What's the status of the poly engine? Literally the same as it was at the end of the last video. Haven't touched it. Got to finish other people's stuff. Rocket Tom is here, although I thought he was already here, but I guess he's kind of here now. Oh, wow. Vivian says, I've recorded the cellist from Nirvana Unplugged, Lori Goldston, down here in my basement where I'm currently escaping the heat. That's sick. You've done so much cool stuff down there. Probably among the least cool would be recording my band. Hot shoe. If the banana blows up, does it turn to yogurt? That's funny. Jeff Hutchins can't read. Loves how I turned a K&N air filter into a microphone. Yeah. And now it's blue again. It's hilarious. Unplugged is amazing. I agree. Will C is really looking forward to a Barracuda update soon. Me too. The last Barracuda video did not do well, like at all. The getting down to race weight or whatever, stripping it and getting it ready to go and figuring out kind of the plan. And that sucks. But I think the next one will be more exciting when drivetrain stuff starts happening. We did actually do some work off camera. So it now has an 8 3/4 axle. The super stock springs are in. It doesn't have a gear chunk. The shafts are just sitting there. The wheels that Tom brought back from Spring Fling are on it. And we kind of see how much we need to cut out of the quarter panels. Yeah, we're doing radius quarters. I'm excited. Yeah, Tom with a comment. Jamie on YouTube hack. If he hasn't done a video on it, he hasn't made any progress on it. That's almost 100% true. And the only exception to that, well, like the Dart Sport. I mean, been working on that in the background a lot. Go garbage can Cuda. Nice. No Beret, when you get Banana rocking, will you take it on a Southeast tour? I would very much like to. But yeah, my hope is that the Barracuda will be operational late this summer, and I'll be able to get to the No Name Nationals and Moparty with it. JMR 8 3/4 True Track. All right, well, it's not a posi or not a sure grip. Whatever. It is a limited slip. Can I tighten up the side to side axle play to quiet the howling? How much side to side axle play do you have? What did you do? Do you have buttons in there? Make sure you have buttons in there. If it blows up, it turns to bread. Setting the entire southwest of the United States on fire and creating hamburgers, actually. I'll mail a cookie to anyone that got that reference. That isn't related to me. Gotcha. You thought you had it, but you didn't. If the banana blows up, it'll be a smoothie. This banana splits. Rory Desjardins said, definitely good videos this week. Thank you, Rory. Appreciate that. Phenomena is here and says, when I was a senior in high school, I wore out my AC/DC Highway to Hell cassette twice. Nice. I can remember listening to Beat It by Michael Jackson on cassette for some reason. That might have been a radio mix. I don't think I was actually listening to the whole album. Our Dave Carr says, looking forward to updates on the Fury GT 6-barrel engine build. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Airborne Plantain. Nice. Yeah, that engine's still at the machine shop. I think I told everybody it's getting bored 30 and they had to sleeve 2 holes. So I think they're still waiting on parts. It's going to be a bit. I'm currently building a 426 Hemi, another 440. Then I've got a 383, a 273, that 440. Did I say 340? There's also a 340 in the mix. And that's just at Rocket. And I hope that's all of them. Rocket Tom did a great video today on a 69 Monaco cop car. I thought it was a Polera. Was that not a... It's a 69 Dodge Polera, and it's for sale. So, no, it's not a build coming up. My nose is itching. Mexican Spec is here. Did Uncle Tony check out early? Yeah. 204 people out there. Thanks for hanging out. We are in my backyard. Grasshopper Cruise is waiting on that 77 D100 video. Yep, that's coming up. We got to figure out which engine's going in it. Possibly the 360 here. Alan has other options. A-Body Garage is here and says, hello, DDG. Someone over there is cooking. You're killing me. Smells good. We grilled hot dogs a bit ago. A-Body Garage. Hello, DDG. I'm planning to swap my 904 transmission with an A833 4-speed. Do I need to mess with the wiring harness? If I do, what would I need to change? You don't need to do a thing unless you want your reverse lights to work. The reverse switch is, well, okay, and neutral safety, obviously. Maybe that isn't obvious. The only concern you'll have is your automatic has a 3-pin switch on the side of it that has the neutral safety on the middle pin, and then the reverse light circuit is the outer 2. So on a 4-speed car, there's a different harness that goes down for the reverse lights, and then the neutral safety is supposed to go through a clutch safety switch. Patrick Radcliffe sent me $5 and said, so I've been thinking on the banana and the different heights in the rear. My thought is for it to launch straight. Well, obviously we want it to launch straight. Oh, the different heights side to side. I thought that, but you see how it's put together, right? I don't know. Maybe it was hit in the rear as well. So maybe they measured from the ground to the frame, or maybe they just screwed up. I don't know. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Connor Lake Havasu, do I have your blessing to put a DDG decal on my 2025 RAV4 that I Uber in? Yes. Does the bed come off the banana, or is the bed and cab one piece? Asks Dalton Sparks. Oh, it's much worse than that. It's a unibody. So the frame, bed, and cab are all one piece. Now, the subframe I'm going to build, like the little Red Wagon, will drop out of the bottom. And so that actually does ease service quite a bit. Redneck 5356, how's the diesel Plymouth going? It's exactly the same as it was at the end of the last video. You can drink every time I say that moving forward. I just ordered a headset from England. It's going to be a bit, but I'm going to do the head gasket on it. Ultimately, that engine might be coming out anyway, but I might as well get it in the best condition it can be, you know? Probably what'll happen is I'll build the spare engine and then put that original one on the cart and put the spare engine in, rebuilt, and then maybe boost will happen, maybe. But yeah, ultimately, I think we're cruising for a rebuild. But I'm going to replace the blown head gasket anyway. So that's on its way here. Headset. Also, we do have an air and fuel issue. Turns out that's why it starts so hard. So gonna try and figure that out. Probably a rubber hose thing. Guy Kugler says the banana exhaust sound makes a perfect ringtone. It makes a perfect everything tone. Alan thinks they filled the tailgate with lead on the little Red Wagon. We could put ballast back there if we needed to. It had spark pads on it, at least at one time. Vic dumped off to bed, but asked me to shamelessly plug his new channel. Yeah, it's Pretending to be a Car Guy, which I assume is the YouTube channel where Vic pretends to be a car guy. Sounds like fun. Philip dropped in a bit ago and asked, how goes that vintage car life? I sat in my 68 Charger for like 2 minutes yesterday. Moved it. Everything in my fleet in the garage, with the exception of the Barracuda, currently runs, which is cool. I don't know. It could be worse. I'm actually making progress on my project, so that is exciting. Speaking of which, Vintage Adventurer Drive says the Trash Can Cuda. Why does everyone try to rename it to Trash Can Cuda? Garbage Can Cuda is my favorite of your current cars. I feel a kinship with it on 2 different notes. Nice. I love that car. I really do. Now that it's back on 4 wheels, it's got all the center lines on it and giant rear tires, not the slicks yet. The pizza cutters are on the front, and I step back and look at it and just go, God, it's so cool. I'm just so happy to own that. And no hood. It's going to have the tunnel ram. It's got the cable drive tack on the cowl. The 4-speed setup is going to be insane. It'll have the fender well headers and side dumps again, probably. It's so cool. That car is great. It's going to be greater. Wow. Murphy says, my band did a tour last month in our 95 Dodge B3500 long wheelbase. Other than a blowout and a tensioner that came apart and destroyed the belt and the lower rad hose, the old beast made it 5,200 miles. Nice. That's almost as many miles as I drove the ramp truck last year. Yeah, you could describe it as a swing arm, but again, the important thing to understand is that there is an engine mounted to it. Yes, exactly. Yes, I almost built a cart once that was going to be just like that. Yep. Something like that. That's a lot of comments. It's pizza night for lives. Nice. Excuse me. How are we all getting pizza? Excuse me again. Oh, Kathy has eye problems? That's unfortunate. Dan Rose, I was looking for a 1-inch carb spacer. Would it help on a 3.9 Dodge Dakota? I can't speak to the 3.9's requirement or lack thereof for a whatever I just said, carb spacer. There we go. Yeah, busy engine rebuilding summer for sure. Jamie should buy Tom's cop car. No. Avon is here and says, when I moved into my first apartment, the only music I had access to was the Ghostbusters soundtrack and Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe, both on cassette. Nice. Andrew Button is here, being silly as usual. It's not about how much peak power it makes. It's about how much beak power it makes. Scoop is in the house. How's it going, Scoop? What's good in the hood? My nose is still itching. Where's the crazy duck? Where is the crazy duck? Oh my, I have a funny story. This is going to be a subscriber video. So a lot of you will see it anyway, but Tom just had tenderloin steak. Oh yeah, rub it in, bud. Rub it in. Probably leftover hot dogs for me. Yes, Vintage Adventure drives the weep hole on your big block Mopar water pump goes down. I've alluded to the saga of the neighbor that threw a rock at the turbo truck and it bounced off the truck and flew past my head and almost hit the demon in the shop. They moved out and they're selling their house. So I guess I won. I'm going to do a subscriber video, member video. Jesus. I'm going to do a member video telling the whole story. Mexican spec. Where are you, Jamie? Is it a green screen? Yeah. See how green it is? I'm in the backyard. Oh, my mom's here. What did I miss? Well, 38 minutes of stuff. Alan has been working on the 77 D100. So much has been done. Just need an engine choice now. Yes, that truck is looking so much better already. Alan is a magician, truly. He's so good at stuff. Wayne Buzzell would love to see a Huffer on Perky. So many people keep saying blower or supercharger, but just ain't me. Somebody said a 471. I literally have one sitting on the floor, but no, where would I put it? I just spat all over the screen. extra tall headers for the banana. Yeah, they need to be taller than they are. You need to see them over the bedsides. Goofy guy that hangs out at the neighbor's house. Oh, Nukem Garage said banana at Roadkill Knots. Probably not. Probably not. Hey yo, Adrian. So many people dropped in all at once. Jacob Backus just tuned in. If you were going to build a Slant 6 for MPGs, not power, what are some things you would do to try and get close to 35 miles per gallon? Oh, I actually discussed this. My project called the Ultimate Daily Driver. It was a 67 Barracuda fastback. I put an 80s 225 Slant 6 and a 4-speed overdrive in that car. And that was the entire idea, to try and get 30 miles a gallon. My stated goal was 25. My secret goal was 32. I didn't do it. I put it together, but I never actually had it like driving. And then I traded it to my brother for a Valiant, which I then sold to McLovin. But the 80s one is the best. It's got the lightweight internals. That's what you want. An overdrive for sure. Manual transmission for sure. Small rear axle. The lightest car you can. The most aerodynamic it can be. There's a cat sleeping on the bar in the sun. It's very cute. Oh my God. Had my niece over all weekend. What a handful. And then the other niece also. And then my daughter's friend, then a nephew for a bit. It's too much. Yeah, do the lightweight slant. Not the aluminum one. That's a mistake. Lightweight 80s engine. Make it as light as you can. And then, I don't know, modest cam, little guy. Probably a 2-barrel, well-tuned 2-barrel. I don't think a 1-barrel will get you any better miles a gallon. In fact, quite possibly the opposite. That's all I can think right offhand. Rembrandt Nope says, hi. That's all. Hi, Rembrandt Nope. Ron Armstrong just wandered here from Uncle Tony's. Blame him. Damn it, Tony! If Tony's bored, he could always hop on my live. Sometimes he watches. Someone's hand drumming in the distance. Rory Desjardins, come tighten my 74 360 power steering pump belt without breaking the seized bolts off. No promises. Keith Hill says, yes, true about the lead in the tailgate. Dean Stevenson is in the house. How's it going? Todd Denio's done traveling. You've arrived. Pretending to be a car guy is a great guy. I agree. McLovin dropped a link. Wow, I peeked the microphone finally. Really surprised that didn't happen sooner. Yeah, Tony's probably busy taking care of Kathy. Are you a garbage can or a garbage cannot? Anyway, McLovin put up a link to our Discord. Join us there if you want. It's the live stream comments that never end. Mopar Bob, on the yellow banana, could you put the radiator in the factory position and hard pipe back, then rubber hoses to engine? I could do all kinds of things, but here's the thing. You got to understand about the factory radiator. It's tiny. It's tiny. It has to go in that cowl thingy, and there is no room for airflow. That's why these and Econolines, which are very similar, have such horrible overheating problems. They only kind of sort of cool the engine if you have that lower duct in place to direct as much air as possible up. I wouldn't put it back in the stock location. I actually may end up adding a lower duct as well, but the setup that is in there now is better than stock. The angled floor duct, essentially, it gives much more opportunity for the radiator, for the fans to pull in air. I may again add a lower duct piece. I haven't decided that yet, but we'll see. But no, the stock radiators are tiny. They have special brackets. They're really hard to find, like nigh irreplaceable, hard to find. The one in my banana van, the reason the Flying Banana is named the Flying Banana, was repaired with a Coke can and some epoxy because it was irreplaceable. Richard Scott, why do some fuel tanks have multiple vents? Trying to get the right one for my 71 Scamp with just over 8,000 miles. So 71, I believe, is the year they added that 4-vent tank. Charcoal canister in the engine compartment. Return line from a fuel filter. Vent in the tank, in the filler neck. What's the fourth one? I don't remember, but that's like a 71 thing or a California car thing, maybe starting in 70. I can't remember, but yeah. They make the 4-port ones. We put one in Tracy's car. We had to. The only one you can get is 4-port, and we just capped off all the extra ports. Somebody's still drumming. There's something else I had to plug the ports on recently. I can't remember what it was. Ooh, might have been the Red 71 Challenger, actually. McLovin also put up a link to my merch store. Thank you, McLovin. We do still have the Demon shirts. Of course, they're made to order, so we'll always have them. But buy early and buy often. And don't forget to get your scrap pack stickers as well. I have done nothing on the new products I want to get out. We'll get there. Barley Tea has had one glass of rosé and is officially crashing this stream. Brother, when will the loops be ready? Plymouth on Plywood is not making any progress, just buying parts. Well, yeah, aren't you like working in one of the Dakotas right now or something for like 6 months? Arthur Brown. Fire. I'll take you to learn. Grasshopper Cruise, you take it easy. We'll see you later. Good evening, Robo Style. What's good in the hood? Oh, I see. One of those kinds of deals. War Ghost. Hey, what's up? Not much. If you had to choose a new flat tappet cam, I know none of them are good. Which one are you taking your best chances with? I am calling Organ Cam Grinders and having them make me one and resurface a set of lifters. The lifters are really the bigger problem than the cams. Organ Cam Grinders will either resurface originals for you or they will tell you to get Johnson high lifts. What are you doing, dog? Batwing ear dog. Yes, Gary Hergert's Macho Ram Charger sold quickly. It's going to Ohio. Ark Knee. Random question. Have an extended 82 B250 van. Appears someone swapped a slant 6 into it since there's an unused clutch. Yeah. How tricky to go back to a 360 or a newer Magnum? Not tricky. You just need the right transmission and the right mount brackets, and all the other parts are available. It's kind of regular stuff. I put a 360 Magnum in a 91 van at one point, but it was a V8 van and we had the mounts and everything. It could be done. And we put a 4-speed in that van when the automatic immediately blew up. Oh, that was before the Magnum. Whatever. Oh, JMR. Sheer grip, whatever. New 323s, sheer grip from Auburn gear, 7 to 10 thou backlash. Huh. Can I just preload side bearings? Yeah, they have like a torque spec and a tool, which I've never had. I just basically snug them down to where it's snug, but not too tight. Tom laughing at me, scaring away neighbors. I really don't think it was me. I think it was literally everything and everyone. I'm saving it for that video. Let's just say that guy, some of his marbles were missing. Vintage Adventurer drives. I made a short about pointing the weep hole down on the big block water pump, but I'm getting tons of haters saying it goes up. I'm confused why they think that. So the thing you have to understand about commenters on the internet is that they are stupid. Model A Garage. What's for sale currently? The wagon is still for sale, although we have at least one person in the comments potentially working on that. The Black Dart GT is not listed for sale, but it could be for sale. The Black Dart GT, I think Alan's getting the Scamp. Alan seemed pretty excited about the Scamp. So I think that's the dealio. If Alan doesn't take the Scamp, then it's for sale. The 81 Challenger, again, not listed, but I would happily sell it. I think the magic number for that, they seem to be really valuable in certain parts of the world, but I think everyone trying to sell them is insane. And I think mine's probably worth $4,000-ish. Runs minty. What else do I own? Doug, what are you doing? Get out of that. He's just looking at me. Wagon, 81 Challenger, Scamp, Dart GT. I swear I'm forgetting something I wanted to get rid of, but I can't think of what it was. Tom got his second load of NOS parts last week. Got to unload it Tuesday, then go back Wednesday and get another load. Nice, nice. Yes, that AMC guy. You have a perfectly good T3 turbo that is water and oil cooled you could use on Perky. It was literally sitting on my bench when I was talking about turboing Perky. I don't know if I actually pointed a camera at it or not, but I meant to. That is actually my plan. I think it's perfect and funny. Is it Sumi Channel says, hi, Jamie. How is Dale's Demon doing? Pretty good. I did a video on it 2-3 weeks ago. Something like that. Go for Garage. Any bites on the Mrs. Wagon? Again, one person in the comments is potentially interested, which is cool. No one else, which is really weird. Hot Shoes saw the 471 on the floor. That needs to go on that 273. Oh, I so agree. Need a manifold for it. They're out there. Or we might have to build one. Banana needs zoomies, says Rooster. If it gets a Hemi, it will get zoomies. Captain Kurt's Garage is here working on some Tito's handmade vodka. So not a vodka guy. Phenomenon has tried a couple times to find a link on eBay for Rocket Restorations. Haven't found him yet. I think if McLovin hasn't shared it yet, I bet he will. Because I'm pretty sure he's done that before. Josh Shesh, how is Dale the man himself doing? He's doing all right. I just saw him a few weeks ago. Oh, my brother's here. Don't remind me about which one? Oh, the 468. Thank you, McLovin. Yes, that's what, you want to buy that? This guy might want to buy it to park next to his ridiculous Camaro. Yes, scatter shield. Yeah, Hot Shoe. Yes, it's getting a scatter shield. 100%. I already have it. It's on the shelf. Oh, Phenomenon found Rocket, so I'm going to guess McLovin did, in fact, share a link. He's always good at that kind of thing. No, I don't recommend a lawnmower carb for mileage. Josh Homan is here. How's it going, Josh? Barracuda, I kind of like children, actually. Rich Jordan says 71 added the internal expansion tank inside the main fuel tank. Is that all body styles, or is that an E-body thing? Gary Hergert is helping with the NOS parts operation, doing another load on Wednesday. It's fun looking through all the parts, seeing all the goodies in there as you're loading, and I'm getting paid in parts. I love getting paid in parts. Will C got a good deal on a rebuilt slant last week. Nice. I bet a few of you have seen the ad for the, is it an Aspen or Volare sedan? It was in Western Washington somewhere, with the Turbo Slant 6. It said the Mopar missile, but in small text next to it, it said parts, and then I don't know. Anyway, there, it was super cool. The guy I got Perky from got that, traded a Camaro for it, I guess. And he sent me a picture, and I was like, you bastard. And then he started. Let's see if I can find it quick. Yeah. Okay, he started sending me updates on it. Oh, transmission doesn't shift. Yeah, it smokes, this and that. It does build boost. It pulls pretty hard. And then he sent me this picture. Anyway, I'm reminded because he already got a new slant 6 and automatic for it. And so he's just going to start ripping it apart. Stu Nad's Garage asked if I'm going on power tour. No, I am not. Maybe someday. Boop. Dean Stevenson said Holly 1920. Out. Get out. Carnivore Customs. Any road trips planned to meet other YouTubers? Cool to see you and your 68 Charger head out on an adventure. No plans to do that. I would love to do a road trip with my 68. It needs tires first. And it keeps developing this weird like hesitation thing that then goes away. I don't know what it is. It's weird. I probably just need to clean the crap out. I can almost guarantee that's what needs to happen. But anyway, Mayak Art Project says, hello, interesting hearing your knowledge. Well, thanks. I try to be interesting if I can. Oh, Tom is mowing? Wow. Yeah, can't be tight if it's a liquid. Raspeeders. Keith Hill says, old school slant 6 with 6 Makuni motorcycle carbs. We'll do side drafts on a slant someday. It'll be sick. Robert Fish says the tiny cowl should get air if the banana is on its rear wheels. Yeah, but I also don't have it. Rich Jordan says the 4 ports also vent each top corner of the tank during acceleration, deceleration, or hard turns. Venting remains operational. Ah, nice. The Mad Monk says that sport today was so great. I love a Duster or a Dart Sport. Tiffany Hovey, graduation weekend. I'm surprised you don't hear more noise. I literally hear graduation. It's right through that brush across the river. Yeah, that was the other evening. Jeff Hutchins, yes, putting the rad in front hampers wheelies and blocks potential wheelie window. That's true too. Go for garage idea for bolts on LAs that go into water. Yeah, studs could work. Yes, but also a royal pain to try and get studs out in 20 years. Chris Peterson is here and says, I love your channel, man. I use it for doing research for building models. Oh, sick. Especially the Turbo Valiant, as my current project is a model of a 76 Dart Sport street strip car with a Turbo Slant 6. Nice. Very cool. Oh, Josh Dively knows who got the macho. Yes. Yeah, that guy. AMC guy, do you need any more 273 stuff? Good friend of mine recently passed away. We're cleaning out his 40+ year collection. He had 2 273s in the engine pile. I don't need any more 273s. Heads, I just got another set. Honestly, I'm probably good. I'm probably good. Oh, okay. Plymouth on Poet is in Wisconsin now, but planning on being in the Midwest most of the summer. Yeah, gotcha. Hot Shoe. Jamie, have you decided whether the banana will be a racer or wheelie truck yet? Are there plans for a Lexan floor panel? Yeah, I mentioned that in the video. Have I decided? No. My plan in its entirety is to work it step by step and have it tell me if it wants to be a wheel stander or not. Cart 70. Jamie, what's your opinion on the Lakewood bell housing in the Dart Sport? Nice piece. Mounted that transmission great. So, yeah. Jesse Smith is having a hellacious time finding an LA 318. Weird. Barracuda. He had a particular reason for not drinking the water. Yes, he did. Fish. Never mind. Mexican Spec. How much is a nice 4-door 68 Dart Slant 6 worth? I don't know. $3 or $4 grand. Kind of depends. Modern Chrysler question. Nukem Garage. Why does my Jeep Commander dash come on and off? I don't know anything about those and I don't want to. But it's an electrical problem somewhere. Rich Riker is lurking and wishing all the DDG peeps a great Sunday evening. Happy Sunday, Rich. Oh, my brother's dying on the couch trying to figure out if dinner is pizza or burgers. Rooster would sell his wagon to buy mine and still might. Well, you still have time so far. Connerly Cavasu would be Ubering in that wagon if the man let me. Fox Can Fix It Garage is late. Was editing video. I always do that at literally the last possible moment. Like I was editing this morning until... When was I texting Tom? I think I finished editing at 10:50. Uploading took forever. No, it must have been after that. It must have been like 11. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Stephen Kuhn. So, what made you get into a 5th gen Ram? How are you liking it so far? I test drove. Okay, so my wife got a Jeep, Grand Cherokee Limited. Really liked that thing. And the moment she got that with its comfy leather heated seats and remote start and nice stereo and all the things, hers is not super fully loaded or anything. It's just a nice limited, but heated seats. The moment she got that, I didn't want to drive my Challenger anymore. I was like, I want something different. I keep having to put kids like my 3-year-old niece in the back of that car in a car seat. That is stupid. I hate it. So I wanted a 4-door. Started looking around. Kind of wanted to trade up to a Hemi at the same time. So I was thinking SRT Charger or maybe even SRT 300. But those aren't everywhere. Chargers, the local dealership, Dodge dealership, who I ended up buying my Ram from, had gotten rid of all their Chargers because there's a current no fix recall and they can't sell them. So they just sent them to auction. So I couldn't get a Charger, right? And I test drove a 300, hated it. It was super boring and it didn't have Hemi anyway. Then I thought, well, you know, what I want is 4 doors and nice seats and more power, and I could get that in a half-ton truck. And then it would be decently comfortable to drive. It would have a nice interior if I got a nice higher line one. And so I started looking at 4-door crew cab Rams, and I test drove a 2025 Limited with 5,000 miles on it. There was like 30% off of MSRP because it had 5,000 miles, but I still couldn't afford that. It's too much money to spend on a truck. That one had massaging seats. That was really nice, but it had the heated cooled. It had all the stuff. And so I wanted most of the stuff that one had. I decided I didn't want to be a limited guy. I don't want air suspension. Settled on a Laramie. So I started looking for Laramies and I looked at every Laramie in the Pacific Northwest, all of the trucks at dealers that were available. I almost bought a Laramie Sport from one dealer locally. That one cost like $6,000 more than the one I ended up buying. And the one I ended up buying is way nicer. So yeah, I wanted a Mopar with some horse ponies with 4 doors and the best seats I could get. They're not massaging, but it is what it is. I love it. It's awesome. I like being in that thing. It's nice having ventilated seats on days like this. It's nice having the sunroof on some days. The stereo is fantastic. The remote start's awesome. The power is great. It tows okay. The hull's okay. It's got airbags. Luckily, the mileage, if I keep my foot out of it, is good, but I don't. So, yeah. War Ghost. Hey, Jamie, roughly how much power does a 400 with 9.5 to 1 compression, stealth heads, RPM Performer, and Edelbrock 800 carb roughly make running 87 octane? Can you run 87 octane at 9.5 to 1? Guess you have aluminum heads. That might be a little optimistic, but I don't know. How much power does it make? I don't know. I'm not the horsepower guy. Ask Just Mopar Joe. Enough. It makes enough. That sounds like about a pony per cube to me. I don't know. A little more compression and premium fuel would help. You're going to have to keep that timing conservative for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, what's my brother doing? What about being blue? I'm so confused. Oh, why isn't he a blue boy? Oh, yeah. One of those. He's not a blue boy. Alan would love to do a road trip with the 300. Hell yeah. When are we going to a car show? I'll bring the perky. Josh Jesh, do you think you're going to do a milestone party when you hit a certain number of subs where we can come bring our stuff out for a drive to see you? I would like to. Tom said we could do that at 50,000, but I don't know. I need a manager, dude. I want to. I would very much like to do that. Some kind of meetup. Colin ordered pizza. Francisco Pena, pertinent question. What are your thoughts on modern Hemis? I think they're a mistake, and I just bought one. I like the power. I like the sound, but they're not known for longevity. Alex Grazioso is back. What did I miss? Dude, you missed a lot. You've been gone for like a year. Mark M might have a 318 LA available. Yeah, he might. Joel Shooter, I've been trying to get a good and strong auto trans with overdrive. Why can't I find one? I think I've fallen into a parallel universe. I don't know. I don't know why you can't. We've talked about the options for that. Acid Spit Stormchild, Thomas the Tank Engine. What shocks are you running on the Barracuda project? So the front is going to be a worn out set of originals. The direct connection book says to do that or drilled shocks, but the drilled shocks might be too loose for a stick. The back, I'm probably going to run Dale's spare set of rear drag shocks, adjustable drag shocks from the 70s. I might get actual drag racing shocks someday, maybe. The Banana will have 9010s on the front. I don't know what I'll put on the rear. Break Stuff Club 1109. What's your favorite cheap 80s front-wheel drive econo car? Been wanting another 88 to 90 Z24 again. Well, saying that, I think you want me to tell you an American car because I was going to say Toyota Corolla. Mexican spec. Yeah, you have to ask yourself why they have a 5,000-mile truck to sell. And I did. It's got a Hurricane under the hood, so that could be part of it. But the guy traded it in for a big, giant Ford. Excuse me, because he retired and needed to tow a house. Josh Jesh, maybe a little lost. Did you trade anything in when you got the 2019? Yes, the Challenger and my third gen are gone. I still have a ramp truck, so I decided I didn't need two Cummins trucks and a Ram. The 03 was like losing power, and I just don't want to deal with it. Honestly, I could have gotten more if I sold it private, but I just want to make room around here. I'm serious about that. If someone wants to buy stuff from me, now's the time. Dennis Wheeler, thoughts on 440 Source's new engine block? Can't wait till they do the Hemi version. Drake's Diesel, I gave the list of vehicles I have for sale a little bit ago. Mexican spec, a manager? You have a wife. Yeah, she said I'd have to pay her. And I don't blame her. Wow. Vintage Adventure drives. My 318 with 9 1/4 to 1 compression pings when you tip too far into the throttle in neutral. Needless to say, there's no way I'm hitting the throttle too hard with the 4-speed and 87 octane. Where is your timing set? But yeah, I wouldn't run 87 in that. Yeah, she has a job and a life. My sister makes a great personal assistant, and she's free at least 3 days a week. Well, yeah. Yeah. Careful what you wish for. Does the 6.4 Hemi have the same issues? Absolutely. They all have lifter issues. It's more common in the trucks, but it's the same engine. Which is better, if any, pickup or car? Cars don't seem to have the same problems that trucks do, and I think that's because trucks are trucks. But yeah. Josh Dively says, turn off the MDS in your Hemi. No, because it gets 30 miles a gallon when the MDS is on. I kind of like that. Pay my sister in car parts. Yeah. My sister has appeared in more than one video. That's true. Yeah, screw you. Pay me. Do you guys get along well enough? My sister came to work at our shop when my brother had his child and took like 3 months off. And then she kind of worked for us part-time for a while. She changed oil, brake pads, little repairs. And then she got preggers again. So Francisco Pena, thoughts on Ram coming back to NASCAR? I don't know anything about that, but cool. It always throws me seeing Bell James's little picture because it is a white Cordoba, and I always think it's the 300, but it's not. But Bell James is who the 300 came from. Oh, now I'm getting the bad internet logo. It took a while. Hopefully the internet comes back. Come back, internet. Come back. Well, hopefully you can still hear me. Oh, that didn't answer the question. She could have worked there and you didn't get along. Well, that's true. She says she makes a better PA than mechanic. And she's got the number 2 commenter spot. Nice. Nice. Oh, 35 degrees all in by 1,000 RPM. Well, see, there's your problem. I had to put a curve back in the Demon, and I kept strong springs to prevent exactly that. I don't even know what the compression ratio is, and I run it on premium, but still, when I put the timing where I thought it should be, like locked at 36, it pinged. Not a neutral, but it pinged. Yeah. Just yes. Did you ever best the 0 to 60 time on the Challenger that was on it when you bought it by chance? I don't remember. Huh. Go for Garage. Yeah. Announced at Michigan for truck race. Mopar's coming back. Nice. We can hear you and you're blurry. Yeah, that makes sense. Break Stuff Club 1109. My daily is a 2014 5.7 Ram. I disabled MDS at 50,000 miles. I use 5W30 Mobile 1. Also increased idle 100 RPM. I hope it lasts a few more years. I've heard about disabling MDS. Yes, I've heard it'll help save your cam lifters, Josh. I know that, but 30 miles a gallon. Cruising around town. It's really nice. You can deactivate the MDS. You can do this whenever you turn the thing on, but if you hit the down button to manually shift and then put it to the 8 manually, it'll keep MDS off, I guess. And obviously you can have it programmed, but I'm probably just going to not do that and run decent oil and drive it until it dies. And then we'll put an engine in it on the channel and I'll say, I told me so. I'm planning to do a video on the truck. I think it won't do well, but I still kind of just want to do it because I've said so much bad stuff about Hemis and I meant all of it. Yeah. Do you like children? Why, yes, when properly cooked. Ram. It's not a Dodge, it's a Ram. Killing him in the name of. I probably won't be doing that. Nice. So that's the announcement they were teasing. Not an actual truck. That's funny. Nick Kurtz is Poly 318 to 360 an easy swap. Yes. Use some washers to space the engine mount. Oh, we're getting some weird sun. That's cool. Can we fix it? No, it's never mind. Yeah, you can see use the same mounts, use the same transmission, although it does depend on the year. You'll probably have to use the spacer. If it's a stick, it's not a problem. But if it's an automatic, you need to use the little spacer ring that goes in the back of the 360 crank to center the smaller torque converter nub. Any Poly would have the smaller one, I believe. Mounts are the same as long as you use some washers to space the driver's side one. That's going to be an ongoing thing. I apologize. You need the LA manifolds. Obviously, there's some other things that are different, but it's not hard to do that at all. Same basic stuff. Dan Tupper asking the right questions. Jeffrey Voth, was spinning off the Ram brand the dumbest thing ever? Dumbest thing ever. I don't know about you, but I can think of a lot of dumb things. It's pretty dumb. Honestly, at this point, it's been that way so long, I'm used to it, but people still call them Dodge Rams. One of the ones no. My truck, when I got this key, the hang tag on it said Dodge Ram. But they took it in on trade over at the Chevy store. So, you know. Chevy guys. Brake Stuff Club. They really need to increase the octane of pump gas. Most modern engines are 11 to 1 and up. I don't think they do. Yeah, Josh Dively. On the flip side, every time I hear someone wants to do an LS swap, I tell them to look for the active fuel management engines. Nice. Hot Shoe. Jamie, how close are LA heads to fitting on the poly blocks? They bolt on. Poly on the LA is harder. LA on poly is easier. There's a water port that the poly has that the LA doesn't. And I think you could just probably thread and plug it in the block or something. I mean, maybe it's blocked by the head gasket. I guess there are various ports blocked by the head gasket anyway. Yeah, that would be easier, again, than the alternative. Good evening, Tavo. What's good in the hood? Driveway of Misfits says, if I recall correctly, they spun off Ram to give them the ability to sell the truck business. Why would they ever do that? Ram trucks and Jeeps are why Chrysler survived long enough to be eaten by Stellantis. Vintage Adventure Drives. Did you see where Scott's Speed Shop had to machine down the snout of a torque converter on his W2-headed 340 Duster? It didn't fit the 340 crank. No, I didn't. Interesting. Nick Kurtz, it is an automatic. Yeah, so again, it just works, but you need the spacer thingy. Oh, Todd Denio, it's very close. They literally bolt on there. Polyheads on an LA block are complicated because the push rods need to go through the block. East of the Pacific, whatever. William Fitch says, love my 16 Ram Laramie. 8-speed trans is cool. It really is. It's one of the best parts about the modern trucks. Yeah, I love everything about it. You know, my 19 is the new body style. I decided after I drove that 25. I always thought they were funny looking. I had a 2014. I loved that truck. I thought they had more character. The newer truck, they kind of dumbed it down a little bit. They took those distinct Dodge swoopy, you know, almost Coke bottle lines off of the trucks. Although heavy duties, 3/4 and 1 ton still have it. The half ton, they took that off, and it looks kind of more like an F-150 from certain years, I guess. So I didn't think I wanted that. But once I saw the 25, I realized, oh, that's actually really cool. And the interior's the best. So, yeah, I'm happy to have that. But again, yeah, 16 is great too. I looked at a 20, the old body style, 17, 18-ish limited. I looked at 2 sports from that generation, but I just ultimately decided I can't go back to that. I liked mine, but I got to have the new body style and interior. I like it so much more. Yes, Bell James mentioned a trip, Seattle to Washington, D.C. in a Cordoba, which is not his current white Cordoba, but he did road trip that one from Roy, Washington to McAllister, Oklahoma. Yeah, we're supposed to do a top end on that in McAllister, Oklahoma. Hopefully that all works out this year if I actually make this road trip, which I really want to. Mexican Spec said, someone please send your rain my way. Well, it's not here right now, so if it's not at your house, I don't know where it's at. William Singer, Jamie, what is your opinion on snow and cold? There is a reason I live where I am. It barely ever snows. It only gets like actually cold for a little bit of the winter. Usually it's just kind of like 40 to 50 and gray. I don't want true cold. Like cold to me, it was in the teens here once, and I still remember that. Snow is all right here and there, but yeah. Yeah, Randbren, 100%. What is nice on the 2019 is the flat floor in the crew area. Dude, it is so nice. I can slide a guitar under the back seat. I can lay all kinds of stuff out back there. It's really, really nice. Now the guitar under the seat feature is nice for me, but I do kind of miss the cool storage cubby under the seat that my other trucks had. Todd Denio, Jamie, I was under the impression that the lifter angles prevented swapping the heads. No, the lifter angle is the same. That's why the LA engine has such a goofy ass lifter angle, because it's from the poly. It is the poly block lightened and with the ports rearranged and the deck surface changed a little bit. Hence light A. No, they did not change the lifter angle. That is actually the biggest problem with the LA engine. That's why they had to, on the R block, that's why they had to change the lifter angle to make 800 horsepower. Because the LA just doesn't want to go there. Oh, what? You don't want 8 feet of snow per winter like we get? Wuss. Yeah. Tavo says, hey, Jamie, are you aware of a channel, Tavo Trav? No relation. He mentioned one of your videos on the 2.6 Hemi. Nice. No, I'm not familiar. Mad Mike 8 likes snow in pictures. I like snow for a few days, and then I'm over it. It was cool this last winter. I got to go snow wheeling in my XJ Cherokee. That was cool. But I don't want it all the time. And I don't want 100 degrees all the time either. Which my wife considers unfortunate. She really likes the hot. She'd live in the desert if well, she may live in the desert someday. Hopefully we're together. She'd probably be there right now if not for me, is what I'm saying. Go for Garage. Looked at a new 5500 Cummins. Spendy for sure. Oh, I'm sure it was. Mark Halley, my puzzle on the wheelie truck is the vastly different radii of spring versus swing arm. Mine too. That's the whole question. That is the question. Spring gives in on the fight. So what I was trying to explain in my video is that I was planning on using a Mopar car leaf spring. They have a short segment in the front. For drag racing use, you clamp the front of the spring solid, so you're not going to get much flex there. All of the flex happens in the back. So in my vision, the angles are worked out such that the long bar and the front of the leaf are moving together through similar arcs. Now, am I enough of a mathematician to figure out how to make that work? No. The little Red Wagon has an articulating subframe and symmetrical truck leaf springs. It works. They don't have sliders. They don't have shackles at the front. They have a solid bushing mounted leaf spring. I think the way that works is, and somebody said this, and I think I've changed my mind and I'm going to go this way. In the one I was looking at pictures of, the newer one, it's built in the 90s or whatever, the lower, that bar is symmetrical to the frame. And so when the springs compress, that bar is going up, and you would think it would be pulling forward slightly, but I don't know. Apparently it doesn't. Apparently it works. That's all I can say. The little Red Wagon has a setup like I'm talking about, but I think I'm just going to follow that as closely as I can. William Fitch loves the Four Seasons. You know, I like 2.5 of them. Yeah, the moment David shows up here, it'll go down to 28 degrees. Nice. Josh Jesh is going to try to make the 66 Cornet long top deal. As long as I can keep hauling grain, I think I can do it. Awesome. Well, let me know. Sooner is better than later. And it's absolutely an option. Good morning, Maddie's Garage. How you doing? Yeah, Dave Duck doesn't want to have 100 degrees all the time either. Yeah, that's why I don't live in Arizona. Todd Denayo says the cold and snow keeps the riffraff away. We certainly see less of the riffraff in the summer. There's no denying that. Mad Mike 8. Ladder bars and leaf springs bind unless you put sliders on the axle so it can move. So it's not a ladder bar. It's like a ladder bar, but it's mounted solidly to the axle. So envision that. It's not twisting or anything. It is pivoting. The whole axle is pivoting at the same time. So what is the leaf spring going to do? Little Red Wagon doesn't have sliders on the front. As near as I can tell from the pictures, it has a solidly mounted bushing with a bolt like a normal leaf spring. It has a thingy a thingy shackle at the back, but it's mounted solidly at the front. How does that work? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me either, but that's how it's built. So that was the question that I wanted answered. And I got a couple good solutions, and that's great, but I still don't know how the Little Red can have that setup. How does it work? Because it looks really simple. It must be simple. And again, old Lakewood ladder bars do look bitchin'. And so do their yellow slapper bars that say traction action on them. Those are sick. But again, we're not talking about a true ladder bar. We're talking about a subframe that the engine and transmission are mounted to. The axle cannot move. Gopher Garage says, get all 4 seasons here in central Arizona. Hot, cold, wind, rain. Nice. Yes, my mic is changing colors. I don't have the technology to make it stop on this computer. Define riffraff, Barracuda. They got wide eyes and bad teeth, and they wander around looking for things. McLovin put up another link to the DDG Discord. Thank you, McLovin. It doesn't have the axle pinned to the leaf springs. Oh, but I promise you it does. Street urchins. Yeah, but full-grown ones. Little Red Wagon has a truck arm system similar to a 6266 Chevrolet C-Series truck. Chevrolet 1962 truck arm suspension diagram. Let's see it. Yeah, they use coil springs though. And someone else suggested that too, and I won't do that. But yeah, yeah. But the arms are mounted solid to the axle. They don't pivot like that. Right? That's the frame end. Oh, no, they are so. Okay. Yeah, they are solid on the axle there. Yeah, pretty much that. But again, it's got leafs instead of coils. Coils, you don't have to worry about binding like a leaf does. Because as the axle goes through its motion, the coil do this action. And again, I had that recommended. But yeah, that is basically it, but with a leaf spring. How does it work? I don't know. And then the engine and transmission get mounted to those truck arms. Yeah, GM has coils. That's exactly it. Yep. Josh. We have all 4 seasons in North Dakota too. June, July, August, and winter. Model A Garage, 1969 Dodge Truck 318 engine swap. Stay with stock points or upgrade to electronic ignition. Honestly, I like the points. They're so simple. Electronics, good too. But I'm not just throwing points away anymore. I usually stick with them if they're there and working well. Yeah, Mark Howie, the height of the bar pivot may be the answer. I think so too, because that's going to affect the arc that the arm is or subframe is trying to put the axle through. Exactly like a 4-link, only different. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yep. Lane Conley. Leaf springs on the Little Red wrap very slightly as the suspension moves up and down. Not a big deal as long as there isn't a lot of travel. That's what I was trying to explain in my video. We're talking about like a couple inches of travel. It's not going to move very far. Cart 70 says 50 Chevy trucks had leaf springs and a torque tube. Jeff Hutchins says NASCAR used that GM truck arm suspension until a few years ago. I'll be damned. Jesse Smith, are the leaves acting as a limiter in some way? They might. It would have a bump stop. In fact, the Little Red does not have a pinion snubber plate. Some truck racers like to have that. I was considering adding that as a suspension limiter. Again, not even, because the axle does not move wrap. There is no axle wrap because it's mounted solidly to that frame. So that's not what it would be for, but as a suspension limiter, it could be helpful. Yeah, in Canada, AMC Guide tells us the seasons are not yet winter, winter, still winter, and finally road construction. Yep. Yes, Brady Dog, it's still light out. It's nice here. It's very nice, actually. Bugs, get off my guitar. How dare you? Well, it's a dead bug now. That's my bad. Eric Olson purchased an 08 Nissan Titan, brand new. Still have it, and it runs great. Had a 94 Cummins 2500, had 480,000 miles on it when I sold it. Third transmission, but you can't win them all, and you won't win transmissions in Dodgeland. Nice. I haven't heard of any failing 8-speeds. That's the good news. Steven Rosenthal's here. You haven't seen a Neon RT on the channel yet, but you will soon, I hope. We used to have 3 seasons in California, gray, green, and brown. Now we have 2, fire season and flood season. Yeah. Keith Hill has been near a real Little Red and says it had like 15 inches worth of heavy leafs. That's crazy. That's not going to flex much. Yeah, exactly, Mark Howley. Yeah, at any rate, better than the solid that whatever questionable individual built it with. That's exactly it. Solid does not work. It doesn't work. It just unloads the tire. So there has to be some suspension. I don't know how anyone ever raced that truck, how it is. They did. I don't know how. Apparently it was sketchy. Figure that one out. But apparently the Little Red Wagon was too. So Brent Nixon has to fix a customer's 64 Valiant Signet tomorrow. Well, good luck and have a great week. 500,000 miles. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you won. McLovin, absolutely there is a service. I don't like spiders and snakes, and that ain't what it takes to love me. You can have a fender tag recreated. You need the VIN and build sheet. But why do you want a fender tag? Because if you have that other documentation, it doesn't mean much. And any expert, it doesn't even necessarily take an expert, but people that know their stuff will see that fender tag immediately and know it's fake. And then the question will be, why do you have a fake fender tag? That's suspicious. Mysteriously gone from the wagon. You don't need it. It doesn't matter. There's no reason to have a fender tag on that car. And again, like I considered having one made for the Demon because it is what it is. And then I learned, oh, fake ones stick out like a sore thumb, and having one is actually no better than not having one at all. So I'm not going to do it. Yes, Brady Dog. Yes, someone's throwing some bucks in that 74. It is getting pretty sweet. Jesse Smith, we don't really have to worry about extension of the subframe. We have to worry about the opposite. Compression. When the body tries to lift and articulate up off that frame. Yeah, reproduced is the same as fake. Yeah. Nice. That's funny. Mexican Spec says Mexican cars have fender tags, but the codes are different and there is no decoding them. Yeah, fender tags just, I mean, again, unless you're talking a high dollar car, it just doesn't mean anything. And yeah, and having a reproduced one does nothing for you. So that's all I can say. Probably not true anymore, but when the ZF8 first came out, there were no options but replacement. I haven't heard of any failing, Jeff. That's what I was saying. Yeah, Tom loves fender tags, and he can spot a fake one a mile away. When did Chrysler stop doing fender tags? They were still doing them on second gens, I can tell you that. But I don't actually know where they stopped. Mexican Spec says fake indicated the information is not correct. Yeah, that's what I said, Tom. Fake indicated the information is not correct. No, that's not what I was saying at all. But often when you see a fender tag that is a reproduction, it has codes on it that don't belong there. covered that in a video. Yeah. It's actually getting a little chilly out here. And that's the other nice thing here. Like when it is hot, it cools down at night. Thanks, Ocean. Here's a silly question from that AMC guy. Why on earth did later Dodge trucks like my 88 have a fender tag mounted under the cowl? I don't know. I don't know. Brady Dog, did that 74 originally have a 727? No, it was a 904 automatic. It was a slant 6 car. Old Stuff Rules had a friend that used to make fender tags. He should be getting out of jail next year. Is there a source for broadcast sheets? I mean, there again, no. I mean, unless you get super, super lucky and someone out there has your broadcast sheet, but you're not going to get that lucky unless it's a super desirable car and people have always known it would be. Like, you know, they're Daytona and V-Code, and you can sometimes find those things for desirable cars because people saved them because they knew way back in the day. Hot Shoe says my Duster was a 344 speed with a bench because bench was lighter than buckets. I've heard that. Obviously, Dale ordered my car with buckets, but no center console and no other frills. I'm still hearing that drum noise in the distance. Like not all the time, but a lot of the time. They're just going ding, 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 bing, bing, ding, bing, bing, bing. Anyway. Oh, wow. Break Stuff Club said they had an air show at the Reading Airport, or is that Reading Airport today? Saw an early Power Wagon leaving the show on my way home from work. It was awesome. That's so cool. Yes, obviously interiors can be changed. At Walmart yesterday, I saw a original Power Wagon, not Hot Wheels, but a little diecast. It was pretty cool. Are you sure that's not tinnitus? I'm pretty sure. I do sometimes have some of that. That's funny. Tavo says our version of the fender tag was mounted on the plenum, you know, where A-bodies rust out. They don't usually do that here. Jeff Hutchins, my son has been fighting a diesel truck at his shop all weekend. I sent him multiple clips from your video from today showing all of your bad parts, etc., to make him feel better to have company. Oh, it made him feel better to have company. This is the way. Vintage Adventure drives. My neighbor can hear my scamp when I fire it up. He said it sounds great. He hasn't thrown any rocks at your head? Yeah. Oh, rubber floor. Yeah. Demon's got carpet. And a radio. Maybe there's a 5.7 Hemi running and ticking in the background, says David. How's your Hemi running these days? Yeah, I've heard the ZF8 is good. And by which I mean I've never heard of one failing. I don't anticipate ever having problems with the 8-speed. Like, how dare you, sir? Stop making rooster noises. You're not even supposed to be here. We'll have Hemi problems long, long before ZF8 problems. What did I just say? Anyway, when the drums stop, it's very bad because next comes the bass solo. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Pretty much every other neighbor. That neighbor doesn't care. They're teenagers over there making noise all the time. I've helped them with things in the past. That neighbor's never said a word to me since they moved in, but the previous owner of that house, I fixed stuff for him. He owned the 64 Ford I did a video on. The neighbor on that side, I've helped her with her truck. The old people that live there, I've helped with things all the time. Neighbor this way, I'm fixing a Duster for her and possibly buying her house. Neighbor back here owns a shop. He gets it. Pretty cool guy. There's an apartment building over there. Those people scream at each other all the time, so I think they're fine. It was only the neighbor back here that had the problem, and they also scream at each other. Screamed. They don't live here anymore. They moved. constantly. My point is, but then the other people like up and down the street, I've fixed cars for them. I've helped them with stuff. They know me. They get it. They don't mind what I do or even kind of sort of like it. My neighbor Steve up the street says I've got the best show in town, or the best show on the street anyway. 29-minute jazz triangle solo. Rooster solo. David says, Hemi's fine, but I think the water pump has a bearing, about to exit the chat. Well, that's unfortunate. Birds are noisy and messy eaters. Yeah. My conure used to eat on my shoulder. Messy indeed. Dude, I'm going to turn you into soup. Driveway Misfits. My next door neighbor also owns a shop. Great guy. Dude, so many people have said in my comments that they wish they were my neighbor. I think they're up on their taxes. Mexican spec. Their house is for sale by owner right now. It's Rooster yelling at me. Nice. Nice. Well, you're about to get turned into soup or something. David, was there someone here saying they need a 318? Where are you? I'm guessing if they can't find one, they're not in our part of the world because they're around. Won't you be my neighbor? Andrew Button. Jamie, can you tell me where I can get a kickdown throttle pressure rod for my 6-pack? Apparently the guy making them is not making them right now. I don't know. Someone out there's got to have one. Do not lick my elbow. What's wrong with you? Oh no, the chicken. Yeah, if you help to fix your neighbor's car, that's a community. Solid guy. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, really? Right there? Some people's dogs. Yeah, that's the move. I mean, help people with their stuff if you can, and then the ridiculous collection of cars in your driveway, less of an issue. El Pollo Loco. Yes, we're allowed backyard chickens, but not roosters. We're not supposed to have a rooster. We had 5 for a while. Kevin Brunk has an 87 318 that needs a rebuild. That's a roller cam or roller capable in Wisconsin. Come and get it. Nice. How many chickens do you want? No, I'm good. Mexican spec will mail them to me. No, we got enough, bud. It really did cool down out here. I should have known that was going to happen. Should have brought my flannel. Dude peed 5 feet from my head. That dog. He's a mess. Jeff Hutchins, I wish my whole town was just grease monkeys. Yeah. Wish my neighborhood was. Paul Wortman posted the DDG logo and a screaming goat. Nice. I love the screaming goat. I'm proud of the screaming goat. There, have a screaming goat. Dogs are the best. Well, now he's doing the other thing. At least he had the decency to go like 30 feet away for that. I really am outside Mexican spec. It's 100% real. Yeah. Patrick Radcliffe says it's still 81 in McCleary. It's cooled off a lot here. This is 72, but it feels like less than that. I think that's a lie. We show a high of 84 today, but yeah, it's cooled down a lot. The ocean does that. Can we start a grease monkey HOA? What? A kid. What are you going to do with him, Bill? I'm going to raise him. Well, just don't dig him too deep, you know? Water-filled salvageable 318s, $600 and up in Australia? No, dude. Prudence to safety goat. Absolutely. Been a while since Zero showed his face. He was right off camera toward the beginning of this live stream. He's right there. Currently, he's in face jail because that time he tried to rip this other idiot's face off. He's lucky he didn't get a bullet. Yeah, you know what you did. He doesn't. He's a stupid dog. Why isn't there any wind? There is. The noise. I thought that was going to be an issue, actually. I thought that might throw a wrench in this whole thing, but the mic has like amazing wind noise resistance. I think I read that on the thing when I got it, but it's actually really good. I can hear it, but you can't hear it at all. Hot Shoe says, all my closest friends I met through street racing. Is that sad? No, sounds like you got cool friends. I do have good friends that I've met through the car thing and even specifically through YouTube now. The people I see and talk to the most often, I met through YouTube. But most of my actual, and I say actual, my long-term real life outside of car life friends, I don't mean to, put down any of my friends I met through car stuff. Most of my long-term, like lifelong friends I met through music. Met my wife through music. So yeah, similar thing, but different. Temperature should be just like Mopars, between 67 and 74, no higher or lower numbers. Oh, come on. There are some cool early cars. 318 used to be scrap prices around here. They still are here. Whose dog are you yelling at? My stupid dog. Well, the one that licked my elbow, that's my wife's Velcro dog. Yes, Josh remembers that live stream. I had to leave the room because he was trying to rip Ghost's ear off. Almost succeeded. Grease Monkey non-retirement home with tools and a huge parking fix-it yard. I'm there, bud. Yep. What's your favorite looking V8? I have to go 426 Hemi. I have no choice but to go 426 Hemi. Although Chrysler Hemis have the distributor in the back, and they're really good looking too. I still got to go 426 though. Yeah. Todd would not like to have me as a neighbor because he doesn't have the money to have me work on his cars. Don't lick my elbow. What's wrong with you? No one wants that. No one has ever wanted that. Mexican Spec. Does anyone have friends from school they still talk to? Kinda. My best friend from school I still see occasionally. We're not super close or anything anymore, but we're still friends. Gone different directions in life, but that's what happens. I can't really think of any others. I saw one of my friends from school at Walmart today. But I did not get to say hello. Vintage Adventure Drives. Met my girlfriend through Facebook People Place. Nice. Hot Shoe still wants a Viper GTS and a 59 Fury. Dude, I want a Fury now. I love my 59 and I want a Fury. Yep. And Viper GTS, same thing. I explained that. I want a first gen GTS. 409s are good looking, no question. McLovin says 446 pack with the RAM charger, air cleaner, and HP manifolds. They are. Brady Dog says this is a picture. Do you want me to go touch it? I mean, I can do that. There, you happy? Vintage Adventure Drive says, my favorite looking V8 is the Ford Y Block. Yeah, that's a looker. I could see that for sure. It's about time to go. I'm getting a wee bit peckish. Try licking your own elbow. Not on camera, I won't. Martin Adams talks with his bully most days. Nice. I had a lot of bullies, and let's just say my level of success is a little different than most of theirs. And I'll leave it at that. William Berry says, best looking is Ford 427 SOHC. That is a good looking engine. I could never deny that. Okay, but cutest V8? Ford 289. And it is too. Have you ever seen the 260? Or is that 262? Do they have a 2? There's a super teeny tiny short deck one. I think it's shorter deck than 289. Has to be. It looks like just big. Maybe it's 262. I can't remember. The Truman Show. It's been a long time since I saw that. Believe in Yourself says it's been a great stream tonight. Thank you. Appreciate that. I am going to get out of here pretty quick. Yeah, the W motor is good looking. There's no denying that. But I'll take the 426. Your dually motor is a 360 with 2 extra cylinders. Scooter wants to know how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. A lot. Newcomb Garage. I met my wife the old-fashioned way, drunk at the goth bar. Nice. I know a lot of Zeppelin. I haven't seen that. I've played a few. It's not very good on an acoustic. $260. Okay, $260. Yeah, I've seen one. They're so small. Oh, is there a 241? Evan says max wedge for the best looking, and I certainly can't disagree with that. Ford 241 V8. Small buck. Whoa, 221. 221. Oh, stop. Hi, Steve. Steve's out for a walk. Stop being jerks to Steve. 0. 0. He could knock that fence over if he wanted to. Hi. Okay. Sounds good. Let me get off here in a minute. Did you eat supper? Not yet. Cutest 6-cylinder that's got a slant to it. The 170, obviously. Josh Dively just saw a new Ram commercial with the Diesel Brothers in it for the Hemi coming back. Yeah, I saw the thing about their collaboration. I'm guessing you and Uncle Tony weren't available. Yes, there was a 221. That is amazingly small. 8V71 is a cool looking V8 too, but I think we were thinking Muscle-era V8s. The way to find out how much wood it could chuck would be to pay for it to be put on the dyno. Dyno day for the woodchuck. Let's go. Yeah, Newcomb Garage. This man gets me. Monster rotaries are ugly. I agree. I'm not reading that. Yeah, what the hell? It's messed up. That's a good one. I don't know it. I don't even know what key it's in. Oh, this thing's detuned too, so it won't be accurate at all. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. The world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. Hot 0 is also the dog's IQ. Have a great week, Rich Jordan. Thanks for being here. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate that. I did not name him after an Uncle Tony moderator. I named him after whatever. I didn't name him at all. No, 198s don't get any love because they suck. Panheads leak. Cool. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Aluminum. 215. Had one of those for a while. It was seized. Really neat though. Oh yeah, the little Daimler Hemi's cool. I like the sound of a rotary too. I don't know that Waits song. Long Rams are the stuff. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak. She defends me be a drunkard's dream if I ever did see one. Well, I picked up all of my winnings and I gave my little Bessie half. She tore it up and threw it in my face just for a laugh. All right, that's what I got. Kind of like the band. If you ever want to learn how to pronounce something correctly, say it wrong in a video. 1,000 people will tell you that that is pronounced Ardun. Anyway. Come down off the cross, we could use the wood. It's the best line. I meant to do that one. Have a great week, Raymond, whichever. I still don't know. The mic does not like my singing. No microphone anywhere likes my singing. I'm a very loud singer. Yeah, Duntov. I know. I was going to say that. Someone had to. It's cold. I'm going inside. The world is not my home. Nice. Dr. Art sent me a picture of the inside of Smog. Look at that. So nice now. I'm assuming the floor is patched up under that nice new carpet. Haven't actually seen him here tonight. Maybe he's too busy doing stuff. Banana. Farewell, Dan Orcutt. Thanks for being here. Are done. Did that count as a song? I think it probably did. I am hungry, so I'm going to get off of here. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, but ideally do it like half an hour ago. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate that. It's nice to be in the out of doors for once. I might do this more if it's nice enough. I've thought about doing one from the swimming pool, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'd have to keep my shirt on. And remember, never pull that finger. Alan, yeah, let's build a Barracuda the rest of the way. Got to port some heads and build a slick shift 4-speed. So much to do. Wow, they got the internet outside now. See, just my voice peaks this thing. I seriously, like, quick story. When I was in high school, I did I hope your truck is something too, Joel. When I was in high school, I did this thing called Business Week, where I think it was called Business Week. Anyway, you pretended to run a business, and I was selected as a CEO by some of my teachers. And so one of the things we had to do was fake advertisements, and we had to perform our fake advertisements in the auditorium for all the other businesses. And it's a Kiwi thing to produce it wrong. You should hear how we say Nissan. Nissan. Oh, Nissan, yeah. Anyway, I was the CEO, and I didn't do well, but I had a speaking part in our ad, and when I got up to the microphone, I, like every other kid that got up there, right? It's just all super quiet and stuff, but I'd been performing for years at that point, and so I just blew the shit out of everything. Oh, Donnie gave me a Hawaiian shirt. I think it's still in the shop. All right. Microphones and I don't get along. It's been a time and a half. A bunch of people have already checked out, so I'm going to do the same thing. Live on Father's Day next Sunday, Jamie. Probably yes, Carl. Probably. I don't have any plans. I don't think we're going anywhere, so. Yeah. This week's Engine Wednesday, I think, is a 440 build. We will have a whole Marks 318 very soon. Then we're going to take apart a Dart Slant 6, also in the coming weeks. We might have a Barracuda video, maybe. I don't know, though. Nice. Oh, that's sick, Vivian. Of course, you have the technology for that. I don't have a film projector, but I do have a projector and a screen that I'm going to put somewhere out here. Maybe right here. I don't know yet. Need to figure that out. Yeah, I'm sure there will be some videos, and I'm sure I'll see. Go away, or I will taunt you a second time. I'm sure I'll see you in the comments and next Sunday, which is apparently Father's Day. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your ongoing support. Thank you for your membership. I have 2 member videos coming. I just have to, film them, edit them, and release them. And we have more merch coming, just as soon as I finish that. Before I do any of that, I need to finish cleaning this roof. So, bye. Bye. See you later. Thanks for being here. Good luck. Buy my cars and my merch. Okay, bye. Bye. See ya. Bye.